Hello everyone, this is Sunil from 3D Architects, and once again welcome back to my YouTube channel. And in this part we are going to learn how we can do materials and give materials on all the objects of the scene. Generally, in my process of doing architectural visualization, I have divided the material giving process in three phases. And the first phase will be applying all the textures that are used for texturing and material inside Max, and we will apply all the texture that are applied in Max scene inside Unreal Engine scene on all the objects. That means every texture that are being used inside Max in materials, first of all we will just figure them and apply them inside the scene as it is, and after that we will give all the materials on the objects that don't require any texture for their materials, like glass, blue material, and then metal like gold, and all those materials which don't need any texture for them to be created. In the third phase, what we'll do is we'll optimize the materials, like we'll give a specularity, we will give roughness, that is reflectivity, we will give metalness, and we will give normal. We will just tweak the materials so that the material look as amazing, as good, and as realistic as possible. And after that I will show you a tip in which we can get lots and lots of already highly advanced and highly realistic materials which we can get from marketplace, and I will show you what are those materials, and we will just download them and add to our projects. And after that we will use those materials and how to use them and how to configure them or how to optimize it or how to change them even better or according to our needs. I will show you. So without any further ado, let's get started. As first object for material, I will select this floor to give material, and what we have to do is we have to go inside 3D Studio Max, and then I will go in any camera and I will just make sure that I have selected the same object that I want to give material of, that is floor. And in Max, what I will do is I will go in material editor, and then again I will use pick tool and then pick the material of that floor object, and then I will go ahead and then copy the name of that exact texture that is being used on the floor. And after that what I will do is I will just go ahead in our content browser, and in project folder I will go in materials, and then I will right click in materials, and then I will go ahead and import the textures, all the textures used in that scene inside Unreal Engine by importing them inside the content browser. So once the importing of all the texture has been completed inside content browser, and we have already copied the name of exact texture that is being used on the floor, we will go ahead in content, or maybe you can go in materials, because we already know that all the textures are present inside this folder, or you can go in content. It's always better you just select content and then paste that name of the texture, and once you paste the name of that exact texture which you have copied from Max, you can see it inside content browser. And from here what you can do is you can just right click and then create a material, and then you apply that material on the floor, or you can just drag the texture and then drop on the particular object, and it will create a material automatically for you. And then just go ahead and then double click on texture, and then make sure that this texture is used on the base color. So as of the first phase or first step, I will just go ahead and drag and drop or create all the use all the texture that are being used here. That means all the texture that are being used inside the Studio Max on objects, I will just apply all those texture inside our Unreal Engine scene, and as a first phase, as I told you. So again, I will just go ahead and I will try to use the texture on this sofa. So I will go inside Max, then I will go ahead and select the material of this sofa, and then I will go ahead and copy the name of it, name of the sofa texture, and then again I will go inside Unreal Engine and then I will paste here, paste the name, and you see, and I will just drag and drop it on all the parts of the sofa. And you just don't worry about realism and material, anything. We'll go ahead in our phase 3 and tweak the materials, and the main goal of this process will be by using all the texture that are used inside the Max. So I will go again here, and then I will go ahead here, and then I will pick this. So I'm just going ahead and using all the textures applied on 3ds Max scene, and I'm just going on and applying inside the Unreal scene as the first phase, which I told you that we will do the texturing and materials in 3 phases, and this will be the first phase of our material process. In the first phase is just go ahead and apply all the texture. So one more thing we can do is, if you want to see what are the objects that are using on that are using this texture as their material, we can just select all the objects and then we will isolate it, and then we can just be sure what are the objects on which we have to apply. So if we start from this side, then these windows are using this texture material. So I'll just go ahead, hide it, and then I will select all these window panels which we have separated them as our optimization process, and then we will apply those materials, and then again go ahead here and then I'll select. So by here we can easily figure out that what are the objects that are using these textures. The main goal of this phase will be applying all the textures, as I am telling you again and again. So there is no doubt about this step. We just go ahead and apply all the textures that are being used inside. And this lights and all those things will be giving them and correcting the lights in our advanced lighting session, because as of now we have given basic lighting setup in the scene, and in one chapter and one part I will show you how to give advanced lighting in the scene. That means after the scene is almost, when the scene is almost near to be completed, then we will go ahead and give the advanced lighting, and in that I will show you how you can do lighting at advanced level in any scene. So once this whole object, I can figure out that all the objects are using same material. Now I will just select them and then hide them, and then again I will select this also, because I have already given material on these objects, and then I will just go ahead and then hide this object also. So I will go ahead and hide these roofs. so that I can see inside of any room. And I will go ahead in Max and then hide all the objects that I have already done the texturing or use the texturing inside Max, so that I can figure out easily on which I have to work. So let's go ahead and find this texture, and then we can go ahead and apply that texture inside. I'll copy the name of that texture and then go inside Unreal Engine. I will paste it, and I can easily see that texture, and then I will just drag and drop that. And if this texture is rotated, don't worry, it's very easy to rotate them, and I will show you how to rotate it. Just apply all the texture, and the main part is applying all the texture. So you can see here it's 90 rotated, and we can easily rotate it inside Unreal Engine, so not a big deal. Just apply those textures so that we can tweak, and we will do all those things in our tweak process, phase 3 phase 3 in of material. So I have given the texture of this, so I will hide it and then hide it, and then I will just select this material, and interior 4, copy it, and then go inside Unreal Engine and then paste it, and then use this texture. Go ahead, I will hide this as of now, and then I will select all the objects and apply this texture. I'll hide it. Don't pay attention anything else other than applying the textures that are being used. If I select that, I can make sure that these are the only objects using this texture as a material, and then I will go ahead and select this. I will select the name of this texture, and then I will go inside Unreal Engine. I will paste it, and then I will hide it because I have already, and then I will just go ahead and see if anything else, and I will go ahead and see if any other objects are using any texture, and I think this object using texture, so I'll go ahead, copy it. I know there may be different processes, but this is my workflow. It may be a bit slow, but it's accurate, and it works for me. I don't know how to explain, because I have already completed, and I have told you lots of time that I have completed more than 50 commercial projects following exact same process which I have been teaching you from part 1, and I just follow all the steps which I am letting you all to know in the tutorial series, and completed more than 50 commercial projects across the globe. So I know that this process works, and all the clients are highly satisfied and happy with my work and the quality, and this whole process is very, very, very much proven. In, if you can say, it's proven 100% production ready. And if you see these types of gradient or procedural material that have been done inside in Max, so you don't need to worry. You just go ahead inside Unreal, and on objects like this, you just go ahead and in materials, select this base material and duplicate it by pressing Ctrl W, or you can right click on it and then Ctrl W means duplicate it, and then after that rename it like leaf or an underscore 01, and after that just go ahead and modify it. I will make it non two-sided, and then I will give a green color on it, and give a little bit of reflection and glossiness. 0.25 maybe, or 0.35. Apply it. I made this material, this was the process of phase 2, but I made it since this texture is being used as image texture inside Max, and we are trying to replicate the exact process. So I think this color is too dark. I will go ahead and make it bright as of now, and then I will select all these leaves and then apply and then hide it, and then again apply, and I am hiding it by pressing H. Once I have selected a bunch of them and applied that material, apply this material, then hide, so that I can make sure on which object I still have to give that material. Material is a time consuming, but it's very interesting because you can make lots and lots variation, and it's just very interesting for me. I like giving materials, and I don't know how others do materialing or material on their project, but this is the way I do material in my projects. It's a bit time consuming, but I like this process very much. So I will just leave them, and if I think this color is too bright, I will go ahead and just make it less bright. Yes. So again I will go ahead and select all the materials using this texture and then hide it, and then I think this one is also using texture, so let's select. Yes, this is using texture, so let's go ahead and select this texture. Then I will go in content, and then if I select content, then this texture will be shown from every part. It doesn't matter where it is located inside content browser, you can see it. And if you go in a specific material, and it's a bit sometimes it gets confused, so it's best that you just use your content folder to search the materials. So I'm just going ahead and copying the name of those textures and then applying on the all objects. I will not tweak the objects. So I will go ahead again here and then again select this. It's I will go in editor preference and switch off auto saving, because that pops every time I'm in the middle of something. So I'll just switch off and then Control Shift S to save all the progress as of now. So once it has been saved, I will go ahead and drag and drop that braid material on all the braid objects, and then I will go ahead here, and this is the bean, I think. Okay, it's the beans. So again I think it's the same material, but anyway, let's copy it and then paste it. Yes, it's same. Just drag and drop. So I will select one by one. It will be time consuming because I have break all the bins in separate objects. Hide it. I will hide the bins which I have already applied the material, so that to reduce the clutter. So I went ahead and applied the texture on beans. And once the texture had been applied on all the beans, we'll go ahead and proceed further and see if any other texture are applied here. So I'll just select this object and then hide, and then select this. And if you have any doubt that other objects are using this material, just isolate them and see if any other objects are applying that materials or not. And then I'll go ahead and select this paper, and it's same, I'm sure, because I can clearly see the name. So I will select this material. I will go ahead and then apply that material, and then hide it. And I'll go ahead, select this material, grass. If you can't find it, if you paste the name of the texture in the search field, search bar, and if you don't find it, try to remove some of the part of that name. So if I remove some part of that name, I can easily find it in content browser now, because if the name of that particular texture is too long, then it may not get selected. So just remove the name, some part of the name, and then you can easily find it. So again, I will go ahead, hide this, and see if any other objects are using this texture. I think this dinosaur here, and then I will copy. See, the name of this material is texture is too long, so Unreal may not bring it. So if this happens, just delete some part of that material, some part of the name of that material, and then you can easily find the texture in content browser. So I will just go ahead and then select and then apply. As I said, the main aim of this phase of material is to apply the texture on all the objects. Go ahead, try to use whatever process you are comfortable with instead of this if you want, and go ahead and just apply all the texture. So I will select all the texture using this, select all the objects using this texture, and then I will go ahead and hide them. This is glass, so I will go ahead in content browser and select glass, and then apply a glass material and hide it as of now, and then paste this one, and then right click, create a material out of it, and then I will select this object, apply it, just go ahead and so I think this object has to be further modified inside Max, and we'll go ahead and modify them. Not a big deal. If it's required, absolutely required, then we will go ahead and do that, and if we don't feel like, then we will not do that. So let's apply the texture first and see what has to be done afterwards. So I applied all the textures on these objects, and then I will select all the objects, I'll hide them, I'm just going on and hiding objects inside Max on which I have already given the texture inside Unreal Engine. I will make sure that I am selecting all the leaves of this plant, and then I will apply the leaf texture. Hide them. Make sure all the leaves are using this leaf texture or material, and then select all the objects using this and then hide them, and then I will go ahead and add the gradient leaf texture JPEG. Copy the name and then paste it, and right click, create material, and then I will apply this material on these stems. Instead of this, I think let's apply this material. It will be even better. It will be easy to tweak, so I don't think this object need complex material to be applied. It should have a simple material. I will make duplicate of it and then apply it so that we can tweak it independently. So just select all the stems, if you don't apply on this, it's not a big deal, because anyway we cannot see them. So I think all the texture that were used in this section of the scene, we have done it, and let's go here now in the second part of our scene, and I will select this texture, fabric bump, and I will just see it, then I will copy it, and in Unreal Engine I will go and select it, and then I will go ahead here, make a texture out of it, just apply that texture. Oops, don't worry anything about it, just let it be. We will tweak that later, tweak them later. If you want, you can just go ahead here, right click in the viewport in material editor, and then COO texture coordinate, and then apply this texture coordinate and make it 20 20. As of now, we'll tweak it further in our third phase. So as of now, just to look a bit better, I will give it then we'll go ahead here, select the cork, wood cork, I'm trying to show you how exactly I go ahead and do it, and I'm trying not to edit anything I'm doing while I'm giving texture, so that you should have no doubt how texture can be done on these types of scene. That's why I'm not at all editing any process, absolutely any process. I'm not at all editing it to make it as raw as possible. and in front of you, so that you can see you can see the progress from scratch to finish in front of your eyes, and you can see how the whole project can be completed using simple steps. This will be the most comprehensive tutorial of architectural visualization inside an engine, that's for sure. So I'll just select the arch interiors. So let's go ahead and give the text on this laptop and chair. So I'll go ahead, select the name of this. I will apply this texture material on the, and I will apply this material on all the parts of the chair, because all the parts of the chair is made of the same texture. And then we'll go ahead in the laptop and see what are the texture laptop is using. So let's go here and then SCG axis, copy and then paste, and then right click, create material, and apply that material. Just select all the keys and apply that same material. And then Control H to unhide, and then let's see what's used on this screen. Go ahead, copy the name of that texture. Okay, then I think I should hide this. Okay, I don't think we need, okay, these two objects, that is portrait. So what I did is I just went ahead and I found every object that are present inside Max, and using textures in their material, I found all those textures inside 3D Studio Max, copied their name, and then I came inside Unreal Engine and I pasted their name, and then search inside the content browser. And before that I already brought all the textures inside the project, in our project and then material folder, and I just went ahead, created materials from the those textures, and then applied on the appropriate objects that were applied on inside 3D Studio Max scene. And in this, and by this way, our first phase of our material is completed. In this, we didn't made the material realistic, and we didn't give anything. Our intention for the first phase of material was to apply all the texture on appropriate object inside Unreal scene that were used inside 3D Studio Max. So here I completed my first phase of our material process. In the next part I will go ahead and show you all how we can create materials and apply on the objects that and those materials will not use any textures, because all the materials that were made that supposed to use textures, I have already created and applied them. And in the second phase we will apply material like glow, glass, pot material, porcelain, chrome, metal, all those types of material. I will cover it in the second phase in the next tutorial. And by then, have fun, take care, bye bye.